The effects of domestic abuse on children emotionally and physically by Arnitra Hunter. Social Work 555 80. Research Methods 1. Research Proposal. Well, first of all, you're going to have a research question, and you're also going to have a hypothesis. My two research questions are: does witnessing domestic abuse affect children emotionally and physically? Does children have health consequences of witnessing domestic violence? Hypothesis. Children who witness domestic violence are affected emotionally and physically. Children who witness domestic violence have health consequences. My variables are independent and dependent. Independent will be my domestic violence. Dependent will be emotionally and physically. And I have a variable, and the variable is an element, feature, or factor that is liable to change or vary. A concept is a plan or intention, pretty much a conception. A methodology is the study design will be a cross-sectional study. Population would be children ages 12 to 18. But first, I would need to get an IRB approval and then also get a letter from the children to participate in the study. And after we've received all this information, we will analyze the data. My anticipated results would be: once all of the data has been collected, the anticipated results will be that children that have experienced domestic violence, constant behavior, emotionally and physically. How many children witness an abuse of their mothers? Studies show that 3 to 4 million children between the ages of 3 to 17 are at risk of exposure to domestic violence each year. U.S. government statistics say that 95% of domestic violence cases involve women, victims of male partners. The children of these women often witness the domestic violence. Witnessing can be seeing actual incidents or physical and or sexual abuse. It can mean hearing threats or finding noises from another room. Children may also observe the aftermath of physical abuse such as blood, bruises, tears, torn clothing, and broken items. Finally, children may be aware of the tension in the home, such as their mother's fearfulness when the abuser's car pulls up into the driveway. 1 in 5 children are exposed to domestic abuse. We may see these children day by day, and these children may be experiencing all types of emotional and physical abuse. Children who are exposed to battering become fearful and anxious. They are always on guard, watching and waiting for the next event to occur. They never know what will trigger the abuse, and therefore they never feel safe. They're always worried for themselves, their mother, and their siblings. They may feel worthless and powerless. Children who grow up with abuse are expected to keep their family's secrets, sometimes not even talking to each other about the abuse. Children from abusive homes can look fine to the outside world, but inside they are terrible pain. Their families are chaotic and crazy. They may blame themselves for the abuse, thinking if they had not done or said a particular thing, the abuse would not have occurred. They may also become angry at their siblings or their mother for triggering the abuse. They may feel rage, embarrassment, and humiliation. Children of abuse feel isolated and vulnerable. They are starved for attention, affection, and approval. Because mom is struggling to survive, she is often not present for her children because dad is so consumed with controlling everyone. He also is not present for his children. These children become physically, emotionally, and psychologically abandoned. What behaviors do children who witness domestic violence exhibit? The emotional responses of children who witness domestic violence may include guilt, fear, guilt, shame, sleep disturbances, sadness, depression, and anger. Physical responses may include stomach aches, headaches, bedwetting, and loss of ability to concentrate. Some children may also experience physical or sexual abuse or neglect. Others may be injured while trying to intervene in behalf of their mother or a sibling. The behavior responses of children who witness domestic violence may include acting out or anxiousness to please. The children may exhibit signs of anxiety and have a short attention span, which may result in poor school performance and attendance. They may experience developmental delays in speech, motor, or cognitive skills. They may also use violence to express themselves, displaying increased aggression with peers of mothers. They can, they can become self-injuring. 90% of children in households are domestic violence occurs are in the same or in the next room. Some of the long-term effects, whether or not children are physically abused, they are often suffer emotional and psychological trauma from living in homes where their fathers abuse their mothers. Children whose mothers are abused are denied and the kind of home life that fosters healthy development. Children who grow up observing their mothers being abused, especially by their fathers, grow up with a role model of intimate relationships in which one person uses intimidation and violence over the other person to get their way. Because children have a natural tendency to identify with strength, they may ally themselves with their abuser and lose respect for their seemingly helpless mother. Abusers typically play into this by putting the mother down in front of the children and telling them that their mother is crazy or stupid and that they do not have to listen to her. Seeing her mothers treated, seeing their mothers treated with enormous disrespect teaches children that they can disrespect women and they, our fathers, do, and the way that their fathers do. Most experts believe that children who are raised in abusive homes learn that violence is an effective way to resolve conflicts and problems. They may replicate the violence they witnessed as children in their teen and adult relationships and parenting experiences. Boys who witness their mother's abuse are more likely to batter their female partners as adults than boys raised in nonviolent homes. For girls, adolescence may result in the belief that threats and violence are the norm in relationships. Children from violent homes have higher risk in alcohol abuse, post traumatic stress disorder, and juvenile delinquency. Witnessing domestic violence is the single best predictor of juvenile delinquency and adult criminality. It is also the number one reason children run away. Some of our resources here is help. If help, well, help is available through Awake, the Children Witness to Violence Project, the Children's Charter, Wayside Youth, and Family Support Network. And some of the reading resources would be When Dad Hurts Mom, Helping Your Children Heal the Wounds of Witnessing Abuse by Lundy Bancroft, and The Batterer as Parent by Lundy Bancroft. Here are my references of my presentation. Thank you.